It's episode 24 of the Pat McGann Show. This week, Pat is joined by me, comedian Tom Bambara, along with Olympic gold medalist Shani Davis and Chicago historian Shermann Dilla Thomas. The Pat McGann Show is brought to you, as always, by Tiege Hanley, uncomplicated skincare for men. And now, here's Pat.
All right, great to be back in the Tiege Hanley studios in the West Loop of the great city of Chicago. Guys, we got a banger of an episode for you today. It's action-packed. Sitting in with me right now is Tom Bambara, comic. Also works here at Tiege Hanley. He is a, you do it all.
I do. I'm the showrunner of the Pat McGann Show also. Can you believe it?
You are. Your resume is just building in front of our eyes.
Literally as a result of the Pat McGann Show.
Yeah.
I was nobody, and now I'm somebody.
Come on. Everybody's somebody. And I want to get this one moving because we have, as I mentioned, a lot in this one.
This is a blockbuster.
It really is. We have Shermann Dilla Thomas, who I am very excited to meet. First time I'll be meeting this guy. He is a Chicago historian. He's a social media sensation. He's blown up all over, all these platforms.
A lot of great clips.
His content's awesome.
For sure.
We also have Shani Davis. How topical is this? Have you been watching the Winter Olympics, everyone? Are you tuning in to root on the Americans? We had, what was the other one? Wasn't Tom Cruise involved in the opening ceremony?
Yeah, the most recent one. He parachute in, and then he zip corded down and then passed the torch off. And he didn't look great. I remember that. It was it was right before he was promoting Mission Impossible, and he kind of had a little bit of old Tom Cruise face going on. So it was a little, I don't know. People were talking about Tom, ooh, is Tom getting work done? What's happening here?
He was promoting Scientology, I'm sure. That's what he was really promoting. That was the underlying. But anyway, the opening ceremony is now behind us. The Olympics are underway. I don't even know how we're doing. I know Lindsey Vonn had an incident. They had to airlift her off of a side of a mountain.
What happened?
She got in a skiing accident.
Jeez.
Yeah. So we have the Olympian joining us. I mean, how many podcasts are bringing you that? An Olympic athlete during the Winter Olympics.
Not just an Olympic athlete, a gold medal, two-time gold medalist.
Yeah.
Two-time silver medalist. Multi-winner. Incredible.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. That's a little tease. We'll get to more of that later. But I want to catch up with everybody. I had a great weekend. I hope you did too. I hope you had a nice weekend, Tom. I was busy. I was I had a gig up in Wisconsin, a little private gig at the Heidel House. That was quite a drive. I brought my daughter with me, and I regretted that because a little bit of a snowstorm coming back home. That was a late night.
How many hours in the car?
About 3.5 each way, which I knew that I was getting into that, but the forecast was clear. It didn't have any, snow in the forecast.
How many times did you guys listen to the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack?
No, my daughter's cool, dude. She's got good taste. We were playing some music. She was kind of running Spotify, just different eras. And, we play a little game where you got to name the song. Everyone knows that game, right? Name the song, name the artist. That's how my kids have learned a lot about music.
What have you tried to what's your musical taste, Pat? I don't think
I'm all over the board.
Yeah,
I really am. I listen to everything. I mean, I am if I had to say who's my favorite, don't you hate saying that? Especially as
I don't at all. My favorite's Paul Simon.
50 years old. My favorite, you know what my favorite is? Your favorite's Paul Simon?
Paul Simon. I'm a Paul Simon boy. Absolutely.
No kidding. That's a little odd for your age, right?
I got into Simon and Garfunkel in high school because a girl broke up with me, and I just felt like that was my breakup music. Paul
Did
Simon.
Did she break up with you because you were listening to Simon and Garfunkel?
I just heard the sound of silence from her, and then she never called me back. But no, I really got into him at that point. I got to see him at the Vic, which was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I was basically as close as the camera is at the Vic with Paul Simon.
Oh, wow.
And he sang The Only Living Boy in New York, which starts with my name. It's Tom, get your plane right on time.
Maybe you guys broke up because you knew you were in love with Paul Simon.
I mean, little Jews, that's who I'm into, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I also had a bunch of basketball this weekend. My kids, very busy. The season is starting to wrap up. Had a little incident at home, too. My dryer broke. This is not fun. when you go down to get the laundry out and your clothes are all wet, right?
Oh,
I'm like, what happened? Did I not press start? Because that happens sometimes. I'll put the stuff in the dryer, get the wash going, and then I go upstairs and I'll never started the dryer. So I'm like, I ran it again, came back down. Dude, now I got 2 loads of wet clothes and had to go to a laundromat. Had not been to a laundromat in so long. And I don't hate the laundromat.
What was the vibe like?
Do you ever go to a laundromat?
I go to a place because I rent and we don't have in-unit, so I have a pretty bad washer-dryer situation in the basement. Right now, our dryer sucks. So, yeah, I take, like, the whole family's laundry, just giant baskets of stuff, and, like, I get it done in, like, 2 hours at the...
Yeah, you get it done
at the
so
Tide
much
Laundromat on Ashland Avenue. Come on down.
You get it done so much quicker because you have, multiple dryers going. You know what I noticed there at this laundromat? And it was fine. It was normal people in there.
Okay, good.
Good vibe. But they have one of those claw games for like the, you get the stuffed animal out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about predatory placement. You can't be like, sorry, kids, I don't have any quarters.
Pat, how much money did you spend on the claw machine?
1,000 quarters. No, I didn't have any kids with me, so I didn't go near it. But I just saw it there, and I was like, oh, that's a little lame. I thought I trusted these people. But yeah, that was the weekend. And then obviously the Super Bowl, which I'm sure people watched. I'm not sure which halftime show you watched. You could tell probably a lot about someone by that should be a first date question. Which halftime show did you watch?
We're big alternative halftime show people in the Bambara household.
Did you watch the big one, or did you watch the one that was in a conference room?
We watched the Puppy Bowl.
Hampton Inn. Did you?
No, we didn't. But that's a thing.
I flipped
that's
through
a thing
that.
too.
I did flip through that. I watched a little bit of that with my kids.
We watched Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny absolutely killed it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was not a great game. It was an entertaining show, but the game was kind of lame. I wasn't that into this one this year.
The game was terrible. It may be one of the worst games of football I've ever sat through. And I'm an Eagles fan, and last year I understand that everybody was really bored with that Super Bowl. I'll be honest, I was too. I mean, I want to see a close game. A close game is the most important thing about it. Like, imagine watching that Tom Brady comeback or that Super Bowl with Atlanta's up 28-3, and it then becomes like 48-10. Like, that would be terrible. You want to see a close game. You want to see something cool happen.
I'm just watching for my numbers to come in. They didn't. But with the everything kind of coming together, my son's 5th grade basketball team, we finished tied in the Southside Catholic League with another school. So whoever is running this league must be a degenerate gambler. The decision was, if the score, total score, add them up, if it ends in an even number, St. John Fisher gets the 1 seed.
Get out of here.
If it's odd, St. Al's gets the 1 seed. So even, we got the 1 seed. Sorry,
I mean, it worked out in your favor.
St. Al's. And by the way, I have a little suspicion that there was a saint named Al. That is, he's like the patron saint of beef, the dip sandwich.
Come on.
How is there
Al.
a St. Al?
Al had a couple of miracles.
He must have.
He turned Dijonnaise into mayonnaise.
And now we have the week ahead. I'm going to head out to L.A. I'll be out there. And then San Diego on Valentine's Day. If you know anyone out there, guys, I'm at the observatory. Going to be a great night. Really looking forward to that.
You going to go to Coronado Island?
Not this time.
Oh,
I did go over there one time.
So fun over there. Really, really beautiful out there.
Yeah, it is.
Some Like It
beautiful.
Hot. It's the hotel from Some Like It Hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, man. Some Like It Hot's awesome. Jack Lemmon, one of the funniest movies he's ever
How old
done.
are you, Tom?
I am 49 years old. No,
You're watching
I'm listening to Paul
Some Like It
Simon
Hot and Paul Simon.
and Jack Lemmon movies, and no, I'm
That's
actually.
why I was like, hey, you know what? Let's have a younger guy on. He'll keep things hip. He can relate to these people.
It's my
we'll
40
bring in a younger audience.
my 41st birthday on Sunday.
Is it really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. That's my lucky number too. 41.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good. 41. How is that your lucky number?
My favorite basketball player growing up was Glenn Rice, and that was his number 41.
Okay.
So I just stuck with me for a long time.
Oh, he could shoot the ball. I remember Glenn
Boy,
Rice.
could he.
He really was good. All right, so let's dive in here. I just caught up with Shani just a little bit ago, so we're going to start off with this interview here with our Olympian, and then we're going to sit down with Shermann Dilla Thomas. Check this conversation out with Shani, though. Here we go.
As always, the Pat McGann Show is brought to you by Tej Hanley, uncomplicated skincare for men. If you're not using skincare, it shows. And if you're still washing your face with a 3-in-1 body wash, you need to wake up because your face looks like you slept face down on a cracked leather sofa. Meet Tiege Hanley. They make skincare simple, effective, and impossible to mess up. No 12-step routine, no nonsense. You wash, you exfoliate, you moisturize. That's it. It's science-backed, foolproof, and legit. More than 3 million boxes sold. It's time to fix your face. Go to Tiege.com/Pat to get 40% off your first order plus a free gift. That's Tiege.com/Pat. Tiege Hanley. It's the way we face the day.
Shani Davis. Dude, it is so good to see you, man. It has been a while, huh?
Yeah, man. 16 years it's been since I've seen you last.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know, kind of remind everyone, this is how we met. We met through a show that I was doing with PBS Chicago, the Chicago Stand-Up Project. I reached out to you. We were like getting well-known Chicagoans to try stand-up, kind of like a Dancing with the Stars kind of vibe. And you were like, yeah, I'll do it. And that's how we met. You did a couple spots at Zany's. That show aired. It was phenomenal, and I think you're probably the biggest name we ever had, Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, that was cool. I remember that you trained me well and gave me the confidence to get up there in front of Zanies and give my best material possible. So that was a lot of fun. It's a great experience.
You know, you're talking to an athlete when you say I trained you. I feel like I had like a whistle, a stopwatch.
Had to make sure that delivery was right on point.
Yeah, you killed it, dude. But yeah, you've been on my mind because, obviously the Winter Olympics, we're well into it now. And this is your time, obviously. And looking back, I mean, you just said 16 years from when we met. You were 4 years. You were just finished the 2010 Olympics?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So at this point, you had won your 2 gold medals, 2 silver medals.
Yeah. Just
incredible, man. And here you are, you're now like coaching. I mean, this really is like a catch up. Like, where have you been? Now you're like in a different phase of your life. Catch us up on what you're doing.
So I retired in 2018, and then I kind of started heading towards coaching. I moved to China for a year before COVID and during COVID. And I stayed there for a year to kind of coach athletes for the 2022 games that were being hosted in Beijing, China. And then I made my way back to America, and then I coach recreationally now, and I work a job here in Salt Lake City. I come to Chicago because my mom still lives there, but nowadays my life is focused and centered around being in Salt Lake City.
Oh, very cool. I love that you moved to China during COVID.
No, it was before. It was before. Yeah, before.
You're like, I'm going to figure this out. Yeah, I was kind of watching because, you are coaching or have coached this guy who's going to be competing, I think, tomorrow. By the time this airs, the event already took place. But Jordan Stolz, this is a guy that you've been kind of getting ready for the Olympic Games in Italy.
Yeah, so I acquired Jordan through a coach that used to coach me. He passed away. And then he said, I always promised Jordan when he was a little kid, like, if you ever need anything from me, I'll be here to help you, guide you, mentor you, whatever. Then I got the call to coach him. And then I moved from Salt Lake City back to Chicago and trained him in Milwaukee for a bit. And then here he is now. He's destroying the world, and he's destined to do great things. I'm really excited to watch him perform.
Yeah, it's got to be a different feeling when you're watching the Olympics because you know what's really going on there. Can you tell us, like the casual fans, like what is stuff that we're not seeing that's going on right now?
So there's a lot of pressure involved. Like, you're not seeing the behind the scenes, all the media stuff that's going on, like the man off the ice for like the athlete's attention that can be kind of derailing for their focus leading into their events and after their events, and dealing with the hardships of not getting the results that you trained for. Like, all of that is being kind of like wrapped up, footnoted for like the 1 minute and 10 seconds that you will see someone skating 1,000 or a little over a minute 30 for the 1,500 and stuff. So
that is kind of mind bending in a way that, you do all this training, you wait all this time, 4 years in between the Olympics, and then it really does come down to a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah, and getting on the podium, like when I won my medals, I won by a little over a tenth of a second, and I've also lost the gold medals by a little less than 1600ths of a second. So I mean, fractions of a second being determined if you're on the podium or winning gold, silver, bronze, or not even medaling at all.
Yeah,
Thousandths of a second it comes down to sometimes.
yeah, that's nuts, man. And then you got everything going on. It's a circus, I'm sure. You got the media, you have all the other athletes, and then you're in a village, right? And I think that there's a lot of like legends about the Olympic Village and what that experience is like. What can you tell us about that?
It's just like a celebration for the most part. And hopefully you're not in the middle of your events while everyone else is finishing their events already finished, and you have to still focus and try to prepare and get ready for your races where everyone else is just kind of having a party. So
Do people
depending
stay?
on this,
Do people stay like even after you win or you compete? You might be like the first couple of days of the Olympics, and then you hang out in the village, or do you kind of take off?
some people choose to stay because I mean you're over there. There's a free room and board in like Milano, Italy. Like that might be quite expensive. So if
Yeah.
I was done early, I would stay and just enjoy the rest of the trip, and then of course see everything off at the closing ceremonies there.
Yeah, I guess it's got to be a party. Is it what people say? Are people, when you're not competing, are you up all night? Are you fraternizing with the other countries? Are you?
Well, I never got that chance because my schedule was always kind of spread out, like from the beginning, middle, and end of the Olympics. But there's been plenty of people, I can assure you, that they went there, they got done on the first day, and they just lived their best lives until the closing ceremonies.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot about that. Now, you were in four Olympics or five?
Tech, Technically five. I started in 2002 when I was 19 years old, and then I ended in 2018 when I was 35 years old.
That is insane. Has there been anyone else that has competed in that many Olympics?
I think we have a girl now, Brittany Bowe. This she's up there as well. She's competed in quite a few Olympics as well.
Which Olympic uniform did you like the best out of all the ones you wore?
That's a really great question, Pat. I think my favorite one is probably the one from 2006, and I can tell you my least favorite one was the one from 2014
Why is that?
because it was a very slow suit that was designed to be the fastest, but it created drag and it caused a lot of hardship for athletes, particularly speaking myself, trying to go for the three-peat repeat.
Were those the ones that had cargo shorts on the side?
It's the one that had the big vent on the back that caught air and created drag when you skated, slowing you down. That one.
How does that happen? What an oversight.
Yeah, I think when your ambitions are too big for what your idea is to kind of create a product, and you go off the script from fixing or doing what you know works and try to reinvent the wheel when you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It already works fine how it is.
Yeah, the speed that you have exhibited, obviously you inspired a lot of young athletes and black athletes, I'm sure. You were the first African American athlete to win an individual gold medal at the Olympics. Is that something that I mean, obviously you must have a ton of pride in that, but have you been able to kind of, in hindsight, appreciate your contributions?
I feel like it never really cemented with me that I was such a trailblazer or a pioneer until recently, where there's I guess he's a Canadian. Yeah, he's a Canadian skater. His name's William Dongenou, and he's the best in the world. And he said that he was inspired by seeing me skate or seeing people that look like him skate in 2006, and he's Canadian. And I'm thinking, wow, like who would ever thought like my reach would have reached out to someone of his, from Canada out of all places and motivate him to want to speed skate. And he shared that story, and I was just so moved that for my love of the sport and my contribution to the sport, it motivated him to get involved. And then he's taken it to higher levels and stuff like that as well. So I was very, very proud that I was a part of that, and
Yeah,
other people as well.
that'll be huge too when they become our 51st state, and then we get to have him on our team too, right?
I mean, he's quite a talent. If we had him, we'd be quite lucky, especially on the male side.
Yeah, right. Um, so last time I saw you, no kids, married. Now I'm not married, 3 kids. And I told them that on the way to school today that I am going to be talking to the guy that inspired Frozone. The character Frozone from Incredibles is based on you, right?
I think I would say yes, but
It's
it's
on their
hard to
site.
say.
It's
It's on
on
their
like the
site.
Disney Pixar. It says inspired by speed skater Shani Davis.
Hey, man, that's cool. Got to be happy with that. I made 2 Disney movies. That's sick.
That's insane. I just kind of bummed. Like, why do they have Samuel L. Jackson doing the voice? You could do the voice. Have
I
you seen
mean,
the
have
movies? Can you give us
I
some Frozone?
I can try, but I can't do justice to the super woman. Where's my super suit? I can't do it in the Samuel L. Jackson Pulp Fiction voice quite well. So I think he wins that one for sure.
That's the real voice, man. So
Yeah.
where do you keep your medals?
My medals now are here in Salt Lake City because I'm planning to relocate, move here full like permanently. Once I get my mom out of Chicago, we're going to be in Salt Lake City. So the medals are now here in Salt Lake City.
And do you wear them? Are you married, Shiny?
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet. Oh,
yet.
not yet. What does that
Not
mean?
yet. It's
Is
a
that,
work in progress.
oh, no kidding. All right. You ever
Absolutely.
wear the
Yeah.
medals when you're fooling around?
No, not particularly. You don't want them they're quite sensitive, fragile metals, so you don't want them to ding together and create dents and stuff. So no.
That would be great. You should wear them. Be like, oh, look, looks like I finished first again. Here's a silver for you. You can wear one of my silvers. Um,
That's really funny, man.
yeah, you should do that. How are you able to compete at this level and like control your nerves? Because I feel like sometimes if I have a big show or like there's stakes, not that comedy is always competitive, but sometimes it can be. Do you have a routine? Do you listen to music? Do you get in your own space? What do you do?
I feel like it's just repetition. Like for the most part, we practice hours on end, days, weeks, months in advance to leading up into competitions, and you just kind of work out your nerves. And the old saying, "Practice makes perfect." So you go out there and you just try to do what you do every day, and hopefully that given day it's good enough to win. And if not, hopefully you have another chance to redeem yourself. So that's how I always kind of looked at it. Like the race is only a minute long, give or take. And then here I am working hours on end, weeks after weeks, months after months. I'm going to master that. And it's just practice makes perfect.
But you had a different style too than everybody. Like you had an arm swing that maybe not everybody had. Did anyone try and talk you out of your style? Or do you see and also do you see anyone else now kind of trying to mimic what you were doing?
For the most part, I think everyone has a little bit of uniqueness to them. And I think maybe some people try to copy, mimic my style of skating, especially in the corner. But that just came from short track. I'm a short track crossed over long track athlete. And I took the best things that you can take from short track cornering and I brought it over to long track. So I brought that fearlessness going into the corner. And you saw a lot of people after I was really successful starting to practice a lot more short track and taking it more seriously.
And the short track was because you didn't have access to bigger rinks because you were training here in Chicago, which, I mean, come on, this is like an out of nowhere situation. And that's why you did become like a living legend. And it was so much hype around your story and your success because you're a city guy. You're in Chicago. There wasn't like a Olympic training facility here. Like, just remind people how you got started.
So I got started because of roller skating. It was a big thing back in the 80s. And
Oh, yeah.
roller, like, roll bounce, I think there's a movie called Roll Bounce. Everyone's out there kind of jamming and grooving and dancing to music, like disco on roller skates, kind of.
Remember the couple skate? Like
I
next
do.
a couple skate. That's right. Find somebody, and then we would be panicking. We're like 8th grade, trying to like find a girl, skate in front of everybody. That was a big announcement. So you
That,
really started in the roller rinks?
yeah, I started in the roller rinks, and then we had a roller rink and like a kind of a teacher that told me that we should do speed skating. And this is around like I was like 4 or 5 years old, and we're like, what's that? And
Yeah.
we never heard of it being an Olympic sport. And luckily enough, my mom worked for a boss who had a son that did speed skating at a high level. She was a secretary, and he had her do papers one day, and she's like inquired about it, like, what is this? This says speed skating on it. Then he told her where to get involved in speed skating, and then I started when I was at the age of 6. So that's kind of how I got involved with skating.
That's incredible, man. And you have been involved ever since. So it's been like your life's work. Are you a fan of other Winter Olympic sports?
I like hockey. I like figure skating sometimes. I think what they're doing over there is quite incredible. I love short track speed skating. That's probably my favorite sport outside of long track speed skating. And then, of course, long track speed skating. So those are probably the 4 sports that I would pay attention to during these Winter Olympic Games.
Which ones would you eliminate if you were like, hey, come on, we can't really, we're not having an Olympic sport for this. Are there any you'd say like, come on, curling?
Yeah, I would have to say that one because I think anybody can mop and sweep across a surface, like anybody can do that sport. So, but I mean, it's one of the more popular sports though, Pat. So how can we eliminate that one if so many people love it?
Yeah, I mean, it's popular probably for those reasons though, because it's kind of ridiculous and some of the people are maybe out of shape and just kind of look like what are they? They're Olympic athletes. I mean, I don't know.
I think we just won gold in that. So congrats to those guys for
Yeah,
winning.
that's what I meant. Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, way to go.
USA.
USA, USA.
Are you going to be watching tomorrow? Obviously, your guy Jordan, are you in touch with him? What is the advice that you give? Because having been through all these moments, you must have advice that you can share and maybe that you wish you knew. What's something that you can tell these people to expect?
So the biggest thing is just keeping your composure and staying cool. Like too many people get excited when the big lights are on him once every 4 years. I mean, it's a lot of hype behind it. He has a lot of support here in America, a lot of support overseas, lots of sponsorships, things like that. So there's a lot riding on it for him to do well and succeed. And I tell him to just try to just keep your mind off those things and just focus on like the joy and the love of the sport and just competing at the highest level and doing the best you possibly can. That's what I told him actually today.
Oh, you just talked to him today?
I talk to him almost every day since he's been there, just checking in and just giving my support however I can since I'm back home and he's over there.
Does he call you Frozone?
No, he calls me Tony.
He calls you Tony? Why?
It's a running joke with us because we both like The Sopranos, so he sees me as a Tony Soprano.
Oh man, that is awesome.
Yeah,
We could talk Sopranos all day. Do you
Good.
tell him to have some gabagool before the big race?
I mean, he's in Italy. You can probably find it quite easily over there.
No doubt, no doubt. Did you have a pre-meal, a pre-race meal, or anything that you would have?
When you're traveling and you're abroad, sometimes you're at the mercy of what's available. And being in Italy, I'm sure there's no bad choices with all the delicious cuisine that they have over there. And you can think about it like on being on the other hand, like if you're in Russia, the type of cuisine that they will have there, and it's not as palatable, but it's still nutrition, and you just grab whatever you can get that you like, and you just fill yourself up and you get ready to go.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you guys. I'm surprised they don't have like a strict diet. Like, hey, this is the day. Like they almost monitor what you're doing because they test you over there too a lot, don't they? Are they doing that still? Or like
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can get that knock on your door at 5:30, like, okay, we're taking blood and urine. We got to test you to make sure you're running clean. And then
that happened to you?
numerous amounts of times, more than I can ever, like, yeah, too many times. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, and then they do catch people every now and then as well, right? And then now they like they're injecting stuff in their, did you see that? Some of these like long skiers,
I saw that.
they were
Silic
injecting
acid
their
or
junk with
something.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
what is
some type of acid. No idea.
who wants to win that bad? Like, I'm
Clearly they
good,
want to win.
right?
Yeah, you would think leave that part alone, especially if you have to inject it down there. Probably not a good thing.
Well, listen, I am. I know you're super busy, and in this time of year too, you must be getting a lot of requests. I really appreciate you joining us. Just want to catch up personally, real quick. What can you tell me? You said you're in progress. Maybe you're engaged, or what else you got going on? Just bring me up to speed.
Since I've retired in 2018, I've been working on a book,
Oh, nice.
and I think it's close to completion. So I'm hoping to have it out sometime soon. So that's really exciting. Telling my side of the story that I feel like it's never been told in its right entity. And I also feel like I was never in a position to really like explain all the things that I was going through, like all the hardships and controversy, adversities, things like that. So I feel like I'm in a really good place physically, mentally, spiritually to like tell this the side of the story that's never been really told the way that I wanted it to be told. So I took a lot of effort in preparing this story, and it's going through the final touches now as we speak. And then I'm going to start shopping it around and seeing who wants to pick it up. If not, I'm going to probably publish it privately.
Are you gonna have Samuel L. Jackson do the audiobook?
That'd be sick. That's a good idea.
Dude,
Hopefully he sees this interview and then he'll be inclined to want to do it.
yeah, exactly. Well, listen, it is so good to see you, dude, and hear you, and you look great. And
Thanks.
I'm just really happy for you, man. I love that
Thank
you're
you, Pat.
giving back too. You're coaching, and that's gotta be fulfilling.
It's a great feeling to know that I can help push people in the right direction, help like guide them, and just be a part of their like story moving forward and keep the sport like getting stronger and growing. Like I couldn't be any prouder than that. I'm really proud of that.
Well, you are a pillar of that sport, obvious legend, dude. Thank you for joining us, man, and we got to stay in touch.
Absolutely. I would love that, man. And next time I'm in Chicago, I'll shoot you a text and see what you're up to. Maybe you can grab some dinner or something. Be cool.
Definitely, man. I'll do the same because I make my way out to Salt Lake every now and then. That's beautiful out there, huh?
Yeah, it's mountains. We're trading the mountains for Lake Michigan and tall skyscraping buildings.
Yeah. No wonder you're so happy. You got nature in you. Spiritual. Love that, man. All right, Shani. Well, let's stay in touch and enjoy the rest of the Olympics. I'm rooting for Jordan and for all of the American athletes. Hope they finish strong. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely, man. Good hearing from you, Pat. Thanks for reaching out, and yeah, best wishes, man.
Thank you, Shani. Great to see you, dude.
The Pat McGann Show is presented to you by Tiege Hanley, uncomplicated skincare for men. You're seriously washing your face with a 3-in-1 body wash? You still use a flip phone too? Working on MySpace post? No wonder your face looks like a rotten jack-o'-lantern. Meet Tiege Hanley. It's got everything you need to be attractive. Science-backed, foolproof, no 12-step nonsense. You wash, you exfoliate, you moisturize. 24,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, and over 3 million boxes sold. These guys are as legit as it gets. It's time to fix your face, boys. Go get a box of Tiege Hanley at Tiege.com/Pat to get 40% off your first order and a free gift. That's Tiege.com/Pat. Tiege Hanley. It's the way we face the day. All right, I hope everybody enjoyed that conversation with Shani Davis with Frozone. How about that? That was very cool. And now we're going to move right into our next guest. He's here.
Right on.
Man, dude, I have been dying to meet you. We have Shermann Dilla Thomas, a Chicago historian, Chicago influencer, Chicago everything, man. And I have been enjoying your content and everything you've been pushing out since you started doing it. You just told me on the way in here you started around November 2020.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you have, I mean, you are Chicago to me, dude.
Man, that's good to hear. I appreciate it. It's a lot of pressure, but I'll take it. Thank you. And I'm honored to meet you, too. I checked you out. I'm for anybody that's for moving things forward, right, and representing the city in a positive light.
You know, I feel like my parents brought me up that way, too, to just really love and respect kind of where we're from. And I know there's a lot of different parts and, pieces of Chicago, but you obviously have pushed it out in a way that I don't think anyone has really done.
Man, that's humbling. Thank you. Thank you very much. What part of the city are you from?
I'm from Morgan Park, Beverly.
Oh, right on, right
Yeah.
on. I'm not too far. I grew up in Auburn Gresham my whole life.
Yeah.
Beverly is where we went as kids to bike ride because the hills are so awesome.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
Longwood is awesome coming back, but going kind of sucked because you're going uphill. But yeah, rode all through Beverly and Morgan Park as a kid, riding my bike. And when it was the military academy, I don't know, I guess it's just now Morgan Park Academy now.
Yeah.
But when it used to go over there and see the dudes teaching the kids how to rappel off buildings.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I was always over there, man. Yeah, very much close to that place.
And how did you fall in love with the city?
You know, I would say what I've been telling people, like I'm the Forrest Gump of Chicago history.
Yeah.
You know how like he was just in stuff accidentally. You
And
know,
then Michael Jordan came
yeah,
up.
I'm telling you, man. Like my dad was a cop here for 32 years, and so when like, you know, Harold gets elected, he's a part of that mayoral detail. And so I was young, but I have, you know, really strong memories of Harold Washington just being in my house or being at Harold
Really?
Washington's house.
Wow.
When when Carol Mosley Braun wins United States Senator, she's the first black person from Illinois to go to the Senate. I remember like being around that. I remember when Richard J. Daley started Richard M. Daley, the Mayor Daley summer job program. You know, I was one of the first cohorts in the summer job programs, got to work down at City Hall. I was a lifeguard for probably like 10 summers in a row. Like that was my summer gig.
Where at?
Everywhere, because I never wanted to see the same thing twice.
Just
And
through the Chicago Park District?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
North Avenue Beach, Oak Street Beach, Ogdale Park, Eckerd Park,
Yeah.
Whitney Young, you know, Brainerd, Hayes. Like I would just pick a new pool every summer or a different beach just so that I have a different experience of Chicago. And it allowed me to meet different people. And then I worked for ComEd.
You have like girlfriends all over the city?
You know, my wife may hear this. And so,
Cut it.
so the answer to that is no. I was waiting on her my entire life. You know, even when I was gallivanting across the city, chasing Lane Tech girls and Julian girls, but I was always waiting on her. It's
No
gonna be
doubt.
my
This is
answer.
the best answer you could have possibly
Bro.
had for that.
I mean, obviously, you're a married man. You have what? How many kids?
7.
7 kids.
Yeah.
Are
We're
you
the
trying
Brady
to
Bunch.
have one for every ward in the city?
Right. No, you know, we had a bunch together and then we blended some more. We had previous lives before we got with each other. So, but I always tease and say my ex-wife got the house and I got the kids. I don't know how that happened. It usually goes the other way.
Right.
But I ended up, you know, which is great. So our kids are really inundated in Chicago, like Kenwood and Morgan Park, and they dance theaters, Joffrey, and you know, so.
Oh, yeah.
We're in so many places.
Yeah, well-rounded.
It's just a part of my fabric, man.
And now you're just a little over 5 years from your like public life.
Yes.
You know, pushing things out and kind of tell us how you started. I think a lot of people are sitting at home at this time, and this is when you caught my attention. And
Yeah.
man, I was telling you, I felt like you were talking to me. Like this is like content. If there was an algorithm
Yeah.
and there was something supposed to be directed at me, it was your stuff.
Thank you. I you know, the kids wanted to TikTok and dance,
Yeah.
and what I'm always trying to instill in them is that you might see the video, but that was probably like take number 100. You know what I mean? And like they're taking it very serious. And my kids just wanted to like post the first take, and they thought that was going to make them TikTok famous. And I had the suggestion of like, hey, I'm just going to write you like these Chicago history blurbs because I didn't see anybody doing it. And I was like, you know, one of the ways that you take off is if you carve out a lane nobody else is in, and then people come over to your lane.
For sure.
And the kids thought it was the dumbest thing they ever heard. Nobody wants to hear no nerdy video.
Do you remember the first fact you put out?
Yeah, I think the first one was at the 4 time zones come from Chicago.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
The
They have a plaque of that downtown
yeah,
somewhere, don't they?
right on the building. Right, so the building is the Central Standard Building that the plaque is on.
Really,
right?
really?
It's the name of the building. It's on Jackson and LaSalle, be the northeast corner of Jackson and LaSalle right there. And so that was the first one, just telling people how in 1883 the train magnets met in Chicago. I think something like 9 out of the 11 major trains in Chicago the country come through Chicago. And so to unify them, they came up with the time zones here. So that was like the first one I told. The second one I think I told was about John Baptiste Point du Sable. The third one, I think I
And
explained.
he was the founder of the city.
Yes.
Didn't he
Right.
found Lakeshore Drive?
You know, right? Lakeshore Drive's landfill, bro. Which it wouldn't. A lot of people don't know. That's why we don't do too much digging over there. You're gonna hit water, right? They kind of filled that all in. The one that took off though, I'd say, is Dibs. It's such a Chicago story,
For
right?
sure.
The thing that gets you to go viral is you telling the story of Dibs, and so I was explaining the historic nature of Dibs, and I went to sleep and I woke up at 500,000 views.
Wow.
And my wife was like, well, guess what? You got a new job now.
We're all Chicagoans, so we know very well what dibs are, but we got people all over the country. Just
Yeah.
give a quick explanation of what dibs
Well,
is.
the best way to describe it, the 11 inches of snow falls, and you live in a block that is aligned with single-family homes, right? And so you come out and you shovel your space. And in Chicago, once you shovel 11 inches of snow, you've earned the right for that to be your spot, at least until the snow subsides. And so in Chicago, you'll go in your garage, you'll get like a baby stroller or an ironing board or a chair
Stroller.
or whatever you got, and that holds your spot, right? That's your spot, and it's called Dibs. And if someone comes and moves your chair or your cone out of your parking spot, here in Chicago, we
You can kill them, right?
Well, maybe not, but they'll wish they're dead because, on my block, we're going to rebury the car
Oh yeah.
and all of the snow. So everything I shoveled out, we're going to put back around. But then we're going to add to that, and we're going to pour water on that snow so that it freezes. And now you're going to shovel out ice blocks. And then this parking spot belongs to you.
Right.
So that's
It's
Dibs.
all over again.
Yeah.
That is that's funny that's the one that pushed you out.
Yeah, right. If anything, if it's going to be a Chicago video, it'd be something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, like, when you meet somebody that's not from here and you're trying to not impress them, but kind of like, hey, because your phrase,
Everything dope about America comes from Chicago.
right? So
We're
they're
talking
gonna
on
challenge you
Shure
on that, right?
microphones right now. It's made in Chicago.
Shure microphones. That's right. Yeah.
They're Shure microphones. They're the
Get
only
outta here.
They're the only microphones that the president uses. Any president since the dude before Kennedy, right? Since Eisenhower, every president uses Shure microphones. Michael Jackson would only use Shure microphones. Elvis would only use Shure microphones. They're out of Hyde Park. Now they're out near Evanston is where their headquarters is today. But so that's what I do when I run into somebody from Chicago, particularly they have something negative to say about Chicago, then we just run the list. Like, hey, you like chocolate brownies? Oh, hell yeah, I love brownies. Thank us very much. You don't hate Chicago, right? you like Twinkies? Oh yeah, thank us very much. You don't hate Chicago, Do you use a remote control to watch Netflix at home? Oh, you do? Well, the Zenith company was started in Chicago, and we invented the remote control.
Dude, I remember Zenith, the remote. My buddy had one. They're growing up. There probably like 5 buttons on it.
Yeah.
And one of them was Zoom. You remember this feature on the TV? You just hit Zoom, and your TV screen would just like get bigger. But it wasn't like it didn't fit the screen. It didn't like enhance the experience.
That's probably why that feature went away. It was
Exactly.
It's quite terrible. But when most people who aren't from Chicago, don't live in Chicago, that have a problem with Chicago are regurgitating something negative they heard. And so that's usually what I do. Like, I find out what they like. Oh, hey, you like the Beatles? Do you know why you like the Beatles? Because Dick Biondi broke the Beatles, right? WLS Radio was the first American radio station ever to play a Beatles record.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Dick Biondi?
Dick Biondi.
Oh my God, I remember him. Magic
Dick Biondi.
104?
Is there anything you can't Kevin Bacon back to Chicago?
Nothing.
'Cause, like,
Nothing. There is nothing.
I grew up listening to him. He was on that oldie station. Dick Biondi, live from Jack Thompson Oldsmobile. He'd be like at a car dealership.
Yeah, he was the man. But in the 60s, he worked for WLS,
Yeah.
and they recorded, I think at that time they were either at the Wrigley Building or real close to. And anyway, in the 60s, the Iowa radio stations went off at like 10 p.m., right? That's bad for young people listening. TV and radio would go off at a certain point, like no signal, no nothing. But WLS's signal was 24 hours. And so at about 10 o'clock, if you're in Iowa, if you're in Idaho, you pick up the Chicago signal. And Dick Biondi went on the other side of the pond for a vacation, and he heard the Beatles, and he brought the record back, and he played it on the overnight. And when he woke up that next morning, the stations was going crazy because all the kids, at least that could pick up the Midwest station, had heard these blokes before. They're like, what in the hell is that? Play that again. And It's a fact. Dick Biondi broke the Beatles.
Oh, I had no clue about that.
Yeah.
We had Mark Giangreco on here a little bit.
Mark's my main man.
Yeah. he grew up in Buffalo, and he had a similar story about listening to the radio. You know, at night, he would get the Chicago stations that really influenced him to kind of explore that career, being in broadcasting. And I think that is cool that they turn that stuff off. I wish they turned the internet off sometimes.
Man,
wouldn't that be right?
You know,
like
and
8 o'clock, you're like, kids,
turn it off overnight.
Put the screens down. It's off.
Well, we do. We call it unplugging the Wi-Fi box.
Okay.
You know, it's such a different brand of kids. My dad would be like, you know, you getting ready to get a whooping, pal, and we'd stop. You know, you tell my 6-year-old you're getting ready to get a spanking, and he's going to be like, how hard is the spanking? Right? Is it going to be worth it? But you unplug that Wi-Fi box in that house, and it is like their souls are ripped. Dad, no, it's sorry. Oh, my dishes get done, ceiling fans get cleaned. Like, it's ridiculous.
That's a good move.
I mean, I don't say nothing to him neither. I just unplug the Wi-Fi box. I might say something to the wife, like, "Hey, you doing something?" I was gonna
say, what's your wife have to say about unplugging the Wi-Fi?
I just let her know, like, hey, you know, I came in, dishes wasn't done, so I'm finna unplug the Wi-Fi box, and I'm gonna lock it away until I like how the house looks. And nothing makes them work faster than that.
I love that you got the White Sox hat on. That's a team I like as well. They have contributed a lot to Major League Baseball, to the beyond the city.
But no, the White Sox, they give us the All-Star game. The first ever Major League All-Star game happened at Comiskey because of Comiskey in 1933. The first place ever to use the point spread to gamble was a White Sox game.
After the
so before the night, that's after 1919, but we had the Second World's Fair here in 1933, and so we had all these like random baseball players here for the fair, and it was like about 7 of them were Mets players, and Comiskey saw the writing on the wall. Was like, hey, let's just have an exhibition game with all the major leaguers that are here for the World's Fair, and that becomes the first All-Star game in American history. But the exploding scoreboard is from the White Sox, and theme music. Like walkout music is so much a part of baseball right now. The first person to ever do walkout music is Nancy Faust, the organist. Yeah, she's the first person ever to play any kind of walkout music and popular music too. So, you know, beyond taking me out to the ball game, if somebody's playing Kiss or the Rolling Stones and all that, like it was her who would play Oregon styles of popular music, right? Comes out of Chicago. And then, of course, Disco Demolition. You know,
were they the first to put names on jerseys?
First to put names on the back of jerseys. You know, Chicago was the first to put numbers on the back of jerseys, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Amos Alonzo Stagg, football coach for University of Chicago.
That's the Monsters of the Midway, the original.
Yep. First ever Heisman football player, trophy winner is a University of Chicago player. But I imagine Coach Stagg just got tired of guessing who got the damn ball. Like, I don't damn know, man. Put some numbers on that shit.
Is this like the accumulation of like how much content have you devoured and memorized to be able to get here? And like, are you still doing that?
Yeah, I'm in a perpetual cycle of research all the time, and now it's awesome.
It's called being a historian, Tom.
Yeah. But you know, so now that I do this professionally, if anybody's grandpa was the first dude to eat a peanut anywhere, they're sending me that information because they want me to tell that story, which I find flattering. It's a little hard, but, you know, I get inundated with so many facts that keeps me. First, I have to vet it, make sure it's true, which is a pain in the butt sometimes, and a lot of times it don't be true. But for like 20 years before this happened, just Chicago history was my hobby. You know, that's how my dad and I bonded. You know, if you're going to go to the Ford City Mall, on the way there, he's going to tell you that, hey, the Ford plant used to build engines and plane engines here for World War II. If you're going to the hardware store in Devon and Kesey, he's telling you about the Thillins and how that you know, forever, that was the Little League All-Star game there across the city. He said, you know, growing up on the West Side, he said the first time he ever played baseball against white kids was at the Devon and Kesey Thillins baseball field, right? And so I learned that if I could keep up with him in talking Chicago history, I could hang longer. And then all my other siblings would have to go to sleep, or he'd say no, that they couldn't go, but I could, you know, and because I was into his favorite thing. And so, you know, man, to be able to have him sneak you a sip of beer or, you know.
Yeah, Ford City, man. I grew up going to that mall. My mom would take me there a lot. And then there was another one, fact about that area, I think. Do you remember that movie Tucker? The car, the guy that made cars. I think it was like Jeff Bridges or something. But I think that plant was right there. Tucker Automobile was like right in that Ford City area, I think.
Yeah, now the only thing left over there now is Tootsie Roll is still over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing?
Yeah, all right, out of Chicago. You know, Snickers invented in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Is that Mars?
Yeah. Frank Mars moved from Minnesota because it was too cold. So he comes to Chicago and he sets up, and then he's like, damn, it's cold here too.
Yeah.
But it was so much cheaper because he could barge raw materials via the Chicago River to the Mars factory, and so much cheaper than trucks and shit, right? It got to change hands so many times, and then in the winter he just leave certain ingredients outside. Didn't need refrigeration, right? Because it's cold here. Yeah.
It would be great at the beginning of this episode if we tell everyone every time they hear Chicago they got a drink. That would be a great.
Shit.
I would be messed up, man.
I can't drink. I got to do this raggedy ass PET CT. Make sure you take care of your health, so you don't got to take these raggedy tests. And I was like one of those dudes that ignores his health. I don't know why men are pigheads and idiots, and we think we're invincible. But then last summer I bought a 1970 Lincoln Mark III. Canary yellow is beautiful. I'm the second owner. Bought it from the Car Unicorn. You know, Car Unicorn is an old white lady that only drove it to church and back.
Got it. Car Unicorn.
If you see one of them, buy the used car from her. She didn't buy used tires. She took it to Sears and put it on her credit card, and they tricked her every oil change, and she got the air filter and she got the full flush. And so that car is gonna be pristine if you get it from a Unicorn.
Do you want to buy it from my?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. But anyway, my wife told me that if something happens to me early, she's not going to remarry, because if she remarries, then they'll cut the pension off. So she's just going to date the dude and let him drive my car. And I've been in the gym and eating vegetables like a mofo since, man. So I'm drinking tea.
Turn it all around.
Oh, man, like hell no.
Those kids got to keep you moving.
Yeah, they do. I got two grown-ups. One sort of finished college. The other one's getting ready to graduate from NCAT, and then I got a high school senior, high school junior, 7th grader, 3rd grader, and damn kindergartner.
Oh man, do they get a kick out of what you're doing and seeing you?
The benefits, right?
Yeah.
You know, at first it was, don't nobody want to be in your nerdy ass videos, Dad, because to them all history is nerdy. But then the first time, like the Bears are like, hey, we want to feature in a video, and we're gonna give you a suite to the game. Oh, now history's cool as shit, right?
Kidding.
Right.
Chance the Rapper got a concert. Hey Dad, can you hit Chance to see if I get some tickets? Then I become,
you got his number?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your guy, huh?
Yeah, we're pretty.
He's Chatham, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
79th Street, Chano. That's what we call him. But
his dad was pretty involved in Chicago.
Yeah, Harold Washington campaign. It was like an assistant campaign manager under Al Raby.
Okay.
And then his mom was very involved in Chicago in education too.
Yeah. I want to throw a name out that is, obviously national. Everyone knows Al Capone. Here is something. I saw you post something about him. We'll get to that in a minute. That was very cool, the recent video that you had. But personally, I grew up, my backyard was Mount Olivet Cemetery. You hop a chain fence, you're in the cemetery. That was our playground. Like, that's where we played baseball. Like, it was open. There were no one buried for like the first however many, hundreds of feet. And we were watching the Geraldo vault.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? When he went into like, so
man, right on 21st in Michigan was where
the Lexington Hotel?
The Lexington Hotel, yeah.
So they mentioned in this show that night, we're like probably 7 years old, and that he was buried at Mount Olivet Cemetery. And that's where he was initially buried. And then they moved him. But his headstone's still there because he shares it with some family members. Everyone that ever came to Chicago to visit me, that would be like my Southside tour. Like, we're going to go to Al Capone's grave. Do you know anything about why they moved him or how that happened?
Not entirely sure why he got moved. I know there was a lot of rigmarole with him being inside of a Catholic cemetery because of him being Al Capone.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm not sure if Mount Olive is a Catholic cemetery or not.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
But I don't know why they moved him. I know he's now in like a
Another
lead.
Catholic one though. I think in Mount Carmel.
Yep. Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah. No clue.
I had heard that maybe people were trying to dig him up to see if he had like jewelry with him or buried with stuff.
You know, he was so out of it by the time he died that, you know, allegedly.
He didn't get dressed for his.
Yeah.
For his,
You know, I'll just want to lead with allegedly. There is no such thing as the Italian mafia. I'm not admitting to the existence of the Italian mafia.
there is no mafia.
There is no mafia, right? But allegedly, Big Tuna and Paul Ricca would just send him a pension.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you know he didn't have much, but every month they just sent him a little something for starting the whole thing, I guess.
As always, the Pat McGann Show is brought to you by Tej Hanley, uncomplicated skincare for men. If you would like to advertise on the Pat McGann Show, please email us at thepatmcgannshow@tej.com. That's thepatmcgannshow@tej.com.
And what was his contribution that you mentioned that kind of has helped all of us, really?
Yeah, expiration dates on milk is because of Al Capone, his niece. So you know, there's a point in time with milk to where it's gone bad, but the smell isn't so pungent yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how for 100 years you just open the milk, smell it, and that was it. If it was bad, you poured it out. If it smelled okay, you drank it. And so it was in that in between, and his niece drunk some, and she got like deathly ill. And at the hospital, when they explained it to him, because he had so much sway with the city council, he's like, "Hey, from now on, goddamn it, you sell milk in this city, it better have a date on when people should throw it away." And then they passed the ordinance because he's Al Capone, and the rest of the nation follows.
Al Capone, a great Italian, just saying.
Thanks, Scarface. Well, it kind of tells you, too, that maybe it is still good for a few days because they're probably very careful. They don't want to piss off Al. So it's like the date, maybe you have a couple more. But I'm pretty set on that. Expiration dates for dairy.
Me too. For everything, right? For even like the sold by stuff, we're always kind of like looking. But I'm with you. If I had to choose between Christopher Columbus and Al Capone, I'm going Al. I'm going Al.
We're just gonna. There was no 1492.
Though, speaking of the Italians, I think the city is taking like votes. You can call your alderman, or you can call Department of Cultural Affairs, and they're going to replace the Columbus statue, but they're going to replace it with an Italian. Right now, who's in the running? Mother Frances Cabrini.
Okay.
That's who Cabrini Green is named for.
MF Cabrini?
Look at that, right? MF Cabrini. I've never thought of that in my life, and now that's all I'm going to say from here on out. She's the first ever American-born Catholic saint.
Really?
All right,
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yeah. And then Enrique Fermi.
Yeah.
Split the Atom.
Yep.
And then there was one more that I think Tesla was in the running too, Nikola Tesla.
What else? What are your other favorite go-tos? Party talk? Did you know?
I have so many of them, and it just depends on who I'm talking to.
Right.
If a person is into medicine, doctor, nurse, whatever, I'm always reminding them first ever kidney transplant took place right here in Chicago. Well, across the street, Little Company of Mary.
That's where I was born.
We call that the baby hospital, man.
No kidding.
That's
It is
where
really
most Southside babies are, especially Irish and Italian kids. You know how they do. They pump them out, man. So,
Catholic.
Catholic, right? So, yeah, the Little Company of Mary is where America's first kidney transplant comes from. That might be one. Sometimes if I'm talking to, Irish folks, there's on the north side, it's on Belmont, Captain O'Neill's, the bar. So
Chief O'Neill's?
Chief O'Neill's.
Yeah.
He was a chief of Chicago police. He quit because his grandma came to visit him from Ireland, and he was taking her to all this Irish stuff, but she wasn't hearing any of the Irish folk music that she had grown up with. And he was like, well, we had to assimilate. And so we sing some of it, but we sing it in an American style. And she's like, oh, no, that's bull. And so he quit the job, and he started scouring the country to have people write the proper notes to keep the Irish folk music. And so in tons of museums, it's his work. And so, most Irish folks don't know that about their history here in Chicago, and that, Michael Flannery ain't from no damn Dublin.
Yeah.
Right? Riverdance. I went to Dublin, and you could go, the 3 times a day they got the Riverdance shows. And I couldn't wait to tell them, That's not from here. I mean, it's inspired from here, and I'm sure the Irish folks were dancing by the river. But this shit you're calling river dance is invented in Chicago by a dude from Beverly. You know what I mean?
Brother Rice High School.
Yeah.
So when you go out, you must just see the world and the city through these eyes, right?
Yeah,
You're
through. I mean, it's like, and it is. At first, I thought I was just being arrogant, but you know, a thing that we all miss is that Chicago is America's first baby. You know, there was a New York City before there was an America. Right? There was a Detroit before there was an America. There was a Boston before there was an America. All of them, right?
Vegas?
There was not a Vegas yet, but the first true metropolitan born after forget the Revolutionary War, because the shit was still crazy then. It's the War of 1812 where we finally like, okay, this American shit is gonna work, right? Yeah. And the first major city following the War of 1812 is Chicago, and so that gives this, you know, everybody can come here and try their ideas. We're at that point about 30, 40 years outside of the Great Fire. So there's still so much fertile land here that you can come ideate, you know. New York was packed to the brim already, right? It was, you know, a lot of that stuff they've built on top of or replaced. But the lot sizes ain't changed since they was damn New Amsterdam. Yeah. And so you get to be innovative in a new space, and that's why the car radio was invented in Chicago. That's why the modern skyscraper was invented in Chicago. People were scared to test these things
in an established
skyscraper. The Home Insurance Office.
Okay.
William LeBaron Jenney is the architect. It was right across from where the Rookery is today.
And that's still there. The Rookery
is still there.
Monadnock's still there.
Monadnock is still up and running.
Is that old? That's
very old. 1884-ish.
Wow.
You know what I love about the Monadnock is if you're looking on Dearborn, you can watch it be built. Because first it was being built by this old dude, and he liked playing shit. And then he dies, and Dankmar Adler and Louis Sullivan take over the firm. And then so the north part of the Monadnock is so ornate. That's when you see all, right, but the south side is just plain. And that's, you know, the kids took over and they was like, oh, no, we finna show everybody what we can do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Who are the people that you would say is like the Mount Rushmore of Chicago? That
God damn, that's a question.
Burnham?
Burnham is on there for sure. No little plans, right? They do not stir the hearts of men. I would say Burnham. I would say John Baptiste Point du Sable. I mean, it no one saw anything where these two bodies of water came together, right? Lake Michigan and Chicago River. And he establishes the first business in Chicago. He was a fur trader. And he was so successful, it attracted Fort Dearborn, right? So I'd say Burnham. I'd say John Baptiste Point du Sable. My dad is gonna roll over in his grave, but Richard J. Daley.
I'm asking for a Daley, yeah.
Like it's real hard to just skip him. It's his thumbprint is all over the city. Navy Pier, Streeterville, UIC, the highways. Segregation like a mofo, but you know it's still his thumbprint, right? So Mount Rushmore got 4. I need one more.
Jerry Krause.
Jordan. Well, that's the thing about Chicago.
George Halas.
George Halas.
Okay.
That would be my 4th. You know, George Halas helped start our first professional basketball team. He was a part owner at one point of the Cubs. Like, he wasn't just football. You know, Chicago invents 16-inch softball. And the first ever high school to win the softball championship is Crane High School, and George Halas was on that damn team.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he go in, like, the Yankees organization for a little bit?
He graduated from U of I. He went to U of I, stopped, got drafted, didn't get drafted, signed up to go to World War I, came back, got drafted by the Yankees, but then this is when, like, the baseball players had to still have 2 jobs and shit. It wasn't like now. Right. Yankees sign him, and then this dude, Staley in Decatur, is like, well, I'm going to pay you more to run my factory and my professional football team than you're getting paid for the Yankees, right? You know, if the Yankees was paying him $10, Staley was like, well, hey, shit, I'll just pay you 20. So his quitting the Yankees and freeing up that contract money is how they got Babe Ruth.
That's wild.
Like, that's how damn connected George Halas is to all the shit that still permeate today. And so he buys the Staleys for like $100, man.
That's why they Bears. They still have his initials on the sleeve. Some people, I've had friends ask me, like, "What is that?" GSH. What? You're doing tours now.
Mm-hmm.
I see you all over media. You've done national stuff. You've done Today's Show, Kelly Clarkson's show. You're on, right? And you're all over.
I got a show now on Fox 32. It's a local Fox affiliate. It's called You Don't Know Shy. They play Saturday nights at 9.
Dude, I didn't know that was on Fox. I've seen it on YouTube.
It was on YouTube. Fox picked it up.
That's awesome.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Tell them pay me, but I appreciate it. Linear ain't paying like it used to, but we appreciate it each and every way we can broadcast Chicago in a positive light. Because what we don't understand is the more we let others define our city, the more it hurts our city. The lack of opportunity comes, and it's. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. And I'm telling you, to be fair, 7 out of 10 knuckleheads would prefer to be doing some other shit. Right, 3 of them are just hardcore criminals. Ain't nothing you could damn do about it. But I'd argue that there are 3 hardcore criminals everywhere on earth. But the other 7, by virtue of how we talk about other Chicago spaces, have, through fear, through boredom, through peer pressure, end up with the other 3. And if we push Chicago in a better light, no matter how you vote, Democrat, Republican, none of that shit got nothing to do with me. But you'd be a lie if you say the DNC didn't go off without a hitch. You'd be a lie to say that 200,000 politicians and their staffs didn't come to Chicago. There was no reported robbery. There was no reported theft. There was nothing. Some dude got drunk. You what's the word? You threw up your White Castles or some shit, right? That was their NASCAR came 3 years in a row. This is not a demographic of people that love Chicago, if we're being honest, right?
The narrative of Chicago being anything but great is just bullshit.
Yeah, very much so.
I just saw it kind of come out in a different form. Pat McAfee, who I don't watch his stuff, but I know the noise he makes. He was in San Francisco, and I'm glad he did this, but they were spending time on the beginning of their show, and this kind of went viral. That's how I found it, was that San Francisco is beautiful. What do people like? Everyone talking about how San Francisco is a shithole. I've heard this for years, and now I'm here. And that is how I feel about Chicago. And most people that do come here
fall in
do
love
kind
with
of
this place.
Get blown away by it.
I mean, I'm a transplant, and I've lived here almost half my life now, and I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Where'd you come from?
From Virginia, Northern Virginia.
Right on.
So I'd say I'm a North Sider, uptown, and then West Lake, that little part of Lakeview that's up by the cemetery that's not really Lakeview.
Yeah.
I've lived there for over a decade, and it's just a beautiful place, and I love it here, and I fall in love with it. I'm envious of you guys because you have the history here. I wish I had the history. I'm just going to try and make some of that history for my kids.
Yeah, that's it. And even that,
too bad
right?
You're from Virginia.
My kid's a Chicagoan.
Suck it.
I tease DJ Moore about that all the time. I try to give him a hoodie that said everything dope about America comes from Chicago. So I'm not putting that on, man. And then 2 years later, his kids are born here. And then he hits me on my Instagram like, hey, you got those in kid sizes? Because my kids are from here. Nah, you getting it in adult sizes too, goddamn.
That's awesome.
We got Virginia history, man. When they start closing coal mines in West Virginia, Uptown is where they went.
Oh, really?
That's why so much folk music comes from Uptown. It was the Uptown. They called themselves the Uptown Hillbillies. They moved from West Virginia and came to Uptown, man.
Oh, that's wild.
That's awesome.
You mentioned the merch, that everything dope in America comes from Chicago. They're selling that at O'Hare and Midway now, right?
Yep, Hudson News
Dude,
stores.
good for you.
Thank you.
That is phenomenal.
Took a lot of trying to find who to pitch that to.
Yeah.
Was like a needle in the haystack. And I went and did a presentation at, where in the hell was I at? City Club.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a presentation there. And who was in the audience but the commissioner of the Department of Aviation.
Is that Jamie Ree?
Yeah, she's the previous one, right?
So
Jamie was in there, and she say that phrase again. I said it. She's like, you know what? You should put that on the shirt, and it should be at the airport. I said, come downstairs to the car right now, and let me give you one. And then she connected me, and
which
boom.
car was it?
I was in the raggedy. I shouldn't call it raggedy. My wife loves her car. I was in her Durango.
No unicorn cars for that.
No unicorn cars for that. My Lincoln is parked downstairs. I'm in a 92 Cadillac Eldorado.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Yeah,
I saw you roll up. How about some hidden gems? And we'll get you out of here on this because I know you're a busy man. And but anyone that listening that is about to come to Chicago, visit Chicago, or people that live here and maybe haven't seen everything, what are some under the radar spots?
Go to Humboldt Park, eat a burrito at anything that's on Division Street. When you're done, go up Sacramento, stop at about Black Hawk, and you'll be on the corner where Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
There's a sign there that shows you that The Wizard of Oz was written there. So go there. Where else would I suggest you go? I would say go to the People's Music School in Uptown. It's a beautiful example of community cooperative, and they have performances all the time, but everybody that's in there playing any instrument did not pay. If you want your kid to take piano lessons and you're a carpenter, then every hour of lessons they give, you have to do an hour of carpentry work.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's just this beautiful exchange of community. It's been around like 30 years. I would suggest you go there. I would tell you to go to Indian Boundary Park in Rogers Park. There's a monument there. Indian Boundary Park is that name because that was the boundary for the indigenous. They couldn't cross that after the Treaty of 1832. And so they would cut trees and then put them in the ground and have them point away, right? Because trees don't fall in perfect arrow directions. But we still got trees in the ground over there from when the indigenous pointed them away so that as tribes came, they know, hey, it's not safe, go the other way. You can see that history there.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I would tell you to go to 64th and St. Lawrence. That's Emmett Till's block.
Yeah.
You can see his childhood home. You know, your black, white, purple, or green. The civil rights movement helped your life, and it starts with the life and death of Emmett Till. And so to go see his childhood home would be important. And then I guess one more. Let's go west side. Go to the Sears, Roebuck and Company campus on Arlington and Holman. And that's the original Sears Tower still standing today.
Huh. Dude, incredible. I could talk to you
All right,
forever.
man.
And you mentioned Uptown. My mom grew up at Lawrence and Bell, and that was her theater. The Uptown Theater was like her movie theater. They would, walk down, go down there, take the bus or whatever.
I love that building so much.
And that is the same people that made the Chicago Theater, I believe, right?
Rap and Rap, yep.
Yep. And they've talked about rehabbing it. They've been in there working on it, and then it stalled. And, I just hope that they get that.
Yeah, we got to stop knocking down all our landmarks. That's the only thing that I don't dig about Chicago. If you go to New Orleans, if you go to Philly, if it's old, they keep it and there's a sign in front of it. You're tripping over signs when you're in the French Quarter or when you're in Midtown in Philadelphia. And we had the house that Robert Todd Lincoln built. We knocked it down. We knocked down the Palmer Mansion. We knocked down the Pullman Mansion. We knocked down Betsy Coleman's house. We knocked down so much stuff. The McVicker Theater, or the fact that you can
put up like a Chipotle, probably.
You know what I mean? It's a parking lot where we knocked down the McVicker.
Really?
We knocked down the original stock exchange. If you go behind the Art Institute of Chicago, that's the archway to the building. That was the only thing that got saved. So we got to stop knocking down old stuff. But if you really want to see Chicago, go to ChicagoMahogany.com and book a tour with me. And you can just do it on the bus with us.
How about it, man? I'm going to get on one of those tours, and, I think that everyone should check that out. I want to thank you, man, because you're doing, so much great. You're like the flag bearer for our city.
I'm trying.
And you really are elevating us. I appreciate that.
We're so much better together, man. I'm telling you, I was just up on Argyle, and I was talking to this Mongolian cat, and he's like, there are more Mongolian Americans in Chicago than anywhere else. Like, it's something about our city, right?
Yeah.
You see the latest video, the dude said he moved away from Poland to get away from the Polish and ended up in Chicago, and now he's back in Warsaw. It's a great, great place, man, and I hope we appreciate it as we're here, because there's no place like it.
I agree, man, and I really appreciate you coming through.
Well, thanks for having me.
Love to have you back.
Yeah, I'm around. I ain't going nowhere. Dude. Please. Y'all should just do the podcast from the tour.
We should. Yeah, we will. That's a great idea, man. I love that.
Everything dope happens on the Pat McGann Show.
Yep.
All right. I think you're probably already following this guy. He's huge on all the socials, but TikTok is that where you're most
TikTok,
active?
Instagram, more and more Instagram now. TikTok's getting a little weird.
Oh, yeah, right. It's been hijacked.
The number 6 FIGGA_DILLA 6 Figure Dilla.
Yeah, great content, guys. Give him a follow. Book a tour, and we'll watch your show on Fox.
Yeah, come on with it, man. Thank you.
You don't know Shy.
You don't know Shy.
All right, you guys. How about that? That is Shermann Dilla Thomas. Really enjoyed having him here today. Tom, thanks for jumping in. I'm going to be in San Diego this weekend, and we got some great stuff coming up. Next week, we got Greg Warren and Maggie Hughes DiPaolo joining us, so a lot of great stuff coming up. And we'd love for you guys to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, send us an email. We love to interact with you. All right. Have a great week, everyone. We'll be back next week, as I mentioned, with Greg Warren and Maggie Hughes DiPaolo. Dilla, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Like posts and reels and follow The Pat McGann Show on Instagram, @The Pat McGann Show on Instagram. If you would like to advertise on The Pat McGann Show, please email us at thepatmcgannshow@teej.com. That's thepatmcgannshow@teej.com.